Assalamu alaikum and a very warm welcome back to our channel Digital Future AI School. Before we jump in, please, if you haven't already, take a moment to subscribe to our channel, give this video a like, and share it with your friends. It really helps us out. All right, today we're diving into episode 7, which covers the fantastic chapter 7 of the book AI, Your Smartest Partner in Life and Work by the brilliant Mr. Zahir Ahmad Mir. We're going to tackle a huge question: how do you actually talk to an AI to get what you want? We're going to break down a powerful system to get you dramatically better results.
Let's just let that sink in for a second. This quote really gets to the heart of everything we're talking about. The real magic of AI isn't just hidden away in some complex code, it's in our ability to direct it. It completely flips the script, right? The responsibility is on us. To unlock what these tools can really do, it all comes down to how we ask our questions and how clear we are with our instructions.
So why is it that we so often get these generic, kind of useless results from AI? We've all been there. It really boils down to what we can call the AI communication gap. You see, we instinctively talk to AI like it's a person. We expect it to pick up on our tone, guess our intentions, and read between the lines. But here's the thing, it just doesn't work that way. It operates on a completely different, way more literal set of rules.
Think of it this way. A normal human conversation is kind of like a jazz performance. It's full of improvisation, we have this shared history, we can infer things, we don't have to say everything out loud. But talking to AI, that's more like reading sheet music for a classical orchestra. Every single note, every pause, every instruction has to be written down perfectly, or the whole performance just falls apart. It doesn't guess, and it never ever assumes.
And this brings us to the absolute core principle of working with AI effectively. We have to focus on giving it instructions, not just hinting at our intentions. To get those amazing results we're all after, we have to make this little mental jump. We need to stop trying to show what we mean and start getting really good at writing down exactly what we want. This right here is such a simple idea, but it is so profound. The AI has absolutely no access to that brilliant idea that's buzzing around in your head. It can't see your vision, it can't sense your frustration. It only has the words you type on the screen. That's it. So being precise with your language isn't just a good idea, it's the fundamental key to getting anything useful back.
For example, let's look at a prompt like this. We've all probably tried something similar. Write something about climate change. Honestly, this isn't really an instruction, is it? It's more like a vague wish. It forces the poor AI to guess about everything that matters. Who am I writing this for? What tone should I use? How long should it be? What part of this gigantic topic should I even focus on? And whenever the AI has to guess, you can pretty much guarantee the output is going to be generic and not very helpful.
Now, just look at the difference here. It's night and day. This isn't a wish, it's a blueprint. Every single part of the sentence is a clear, precise instruction. It tells the AI the task, explain. It defines the audience, Pakistani students, aged 12 to 15. It sets the length, the format, the tone, everything. By controlling every single aspect of the input, you are directly engineering the output you want. The reason this works so well is because of the guardrails you've provided. These aren't just little details, they're the control levers. When you define the audience, it changes the vocabulary the AI uses. When you set a word count, you force it to be concise. When you ask for bullet points, you dictate the entire structure of the answer. You're no longer a passenger, you are the architect of the response.
But let's be real. Being an architect and building a perfect response from scratch every single time, that sounds kind of exhausting, right? Is there a repeatable system, a mental model you can just pull out and use to make sure you're always giving the AI the best possible instructions without having to reinvent the wheel every time?
Well, thankfully, yes, there is. The source material gives us a super simple yet incredibly powerful framework for exactly this. It's an easy-to-remember little checklist called the HGCD formula. And trust me, this is designed to be your secret weapon for crafting amazing prompts every single time.
This formula gives you a reliable, structured way to make your requests. It helps you take those fuzzy ideas in your head and turn them into professional-grade instructions that will give you consistently amazing results. So, let's take a closer look at what each of these 4 components actually means. The formula is built on 4 pillars. Simple, right? H stands for hat, which is basically telling the AI what specific role it should play. G is for goal. What is your specific, desired outcome? C is for context, which is all the background information the AI needs to know. And finally, D is for data, which is the specific, raw information you want the AI to actually work on.
Okay, so now let's explore how each of these pillars really acts as a force multiplier for your prompts. Mastering these 4 little steps is what will take your AI interactions from just casual questions to professional, directed tasks that actually get things done.
First step is H for hat. And honestly, this might be the most critical piece of the puzzle. Instead of just talking to a generic machine, you are instructing the AI to become an expert. You tell it to wear the hat of a specific persona. And when you do that, it instantly loads up a whole knowledge base, a certain style of reasoning, and a unique voice to match.
And the range of hats you can use is practically infinite. If you ask the AI to act as a senior lawyer, you're going to get a very formal, cautious, and analytical response. But if you ask that same AI to act as an empathetic counselor for the exact same problem, the tone, the vocabulary, the entire focus will change completely. This one single command shapes the AI's entire worldview for that task. It's so powerful.
Okay, once you've given the AI its hat, the very next step is to define a crystal clear goal. This is its mission directive. Using vague verbs like talk about or tell me about just leads to rambling, useless answers. You have to be direct. Use specific, strong action verbs to define the exact task you want it to perform.
A well-defined goal just eliminates confusion and directs the AI's focus. Are you asking it to summarize a long report, analyze some financial data, compare 2 different marketing strategies, or critique a piece of code? Each of these specific verbs triggers a very distinct kind of task in the AI's mind and leads to a much more targeted and useful output for you.
Now for our third pillar, C for context. This is all about giving the AI the necessary background. So if the hat is who the AI is and the goal is what it should do, then context is the where and the why. The AI has zero knowledge of your audience, your project constraints, or your specific situation unless you spell it out. Context is what makes the response truly relevant to your specific needs.
So your context could include things like the target audience. Is it for board members or for kids? The desired format. Is it a 2-page brief or a social media post? Constraints, like it has to be positive in tone, or even a region, like this is for a telecom company in Lahore. And this brings us to our final, crucial pillar, D for data. While context gives the background, data is the foreground. It's the specific text, the numbers, the raw information you actually paste into the prompt for the AI to process. So giving the AI a financial report to summarize, or customer reviews to analyze, or an email to refine, that's you providing the data. Without it, the AI is just working from general knowledge. With it, the AI is working on your specific problem.
So when you combine all 4, the hat, the goal, the context, and the data, you completely transform your relationship with the AI. You stop being a passive user who's just hoping for a good result, and you become an active director, precisely guiding the AI to produce the exact output that you have in your mind.
And this right here is the key takeaway. The quality of what you get back from AI stops being a lottery. It's no longer a mystery. It becomes a direct, predictable reflection of the quality of your input. Getting great results from AI isn't a matter of luck anymore. It's a matter of engineering a really well-crafted prompt. So from now on, before you hit send on that prompt, just quickly run through this mental checklist. H, have I chosen the right expert persona? G, is my command verb specific and actionable? C, have I painted a clear picture of the situation? And D, have I given the AI the specific raw material it needs to work with? This little 4-step check is like a pre-flight routine for every powerful AI interaction you're going to have.
And look, mastering this is way more than just a little productivity hack. It's a foundational skill for the modern world we live in. The book makes it clear. The ability to effectively communicate with and harness artificial intelligence is quickly becoming a key factor in success, not just for individuals in their careers, but for entire companies in their markets, and even for nations on the global stage.
This framework really empowers you to transform AI from a simple tool into a true creative partner. It gives you the control to build things, to solve problems, and to innovate in ways that were honestly unimaginable just a few years ago. You now have the key to unlock its true potential. So the question is no longer, what can AI do? The real question is, what will
Mr. Zahir Ahmad Mir. We're going to unpack a truly game-changing idea. There's a new essential skill that's starting to define success in our time, and that skill is mastering how we communicate with artificial intelligence. So let's start with a big idea, the new literacy. What does it even mean to be literate today?
Well, the book kicks off with a really bold claim. It says the very definition of literacy is changing right before our eyes. It's not just about reading and writing anymore, not in the old-fashioned sense. A totally new way of communicating is here, and becoming fluent in it, well, it's not just a good idea. It's quickly becoming absolutely essential.
Just let that sink in for a second. Think about the weight of that statement. The ability to talk to an AI is being put on the exact same level as reading, writing, and critical thinking. I mean, these are the absolute cornerstones of education, of our entire professional lives, for centuries. This isn't some niche skill for tech experts or coders. We're talking about a new fundamental skill that's going to affect everything we do. It's a claim that really makes you stop and rethink what it means to be capable in the modern world. And that, of course, is the million-dollar question, right? If this is so incredibly important, where do we even start? Well, the book breaks it down into a few core ideas. And what's really fascinating is that the first one isn't technical at all. It has nothing to do with code. It's all about understanding feeling. This brings us to our first pillar, teaching the AI emotional intelligence. Now, I know, that might sound a little bit like science fiction, but stick with me because it's unbelievably practical. See, an AI's response isn't just about the raw information it gives back to you. It's about how it delivers that information. And the key insight here is that you have total control over that delivery, just by telling it what tone to use. And this slide really shows you just how much control you have. You're not just a user typing in a question anymore. You're more like a director, guiding a performance. Just imagine for a second. Maybe you're writing an email to an unhappy client. You could tell the AI to use an empathetic and diplomatic tone. Or what if you're writing a team announcement about a huge new project? You might ask for a tone that's motivational and friendly. Each one of these words completely changes the texture and the impact of the final text. It lets you perfectly tailor the AI's communication for any situation you can think of. And here is a perfect real-world example. Just look at the nuance here. It's not just polite, and it's not just firm. It's that specific, delicate combination, polite but firm, that captures the exact balance you'd need for that kind of official context. This right here is the difference between getting a generic, kind of robotic response and getting something that feels professionally crafted. You're literally teaching the AI the subtle art of human interaction, and that is a true game changer. Okay, so if tone gives your communication the right feeling, then our next pillar, precision, is what gives it the right substance. This is where so many of us get frustrated with AI, right? We ask a question and we get back these vague, unhelpful answers. But the book argues that this isn't really the AI's fault. It's almost always a direct result of us asking vague, unhelpful questions. This is where the big psychological shift has to happen for us. We need to move from just asking a question to thoughtfully designing an instruction. Just look at the left column here. Words like something or improve it. That's like telling your GPS to go somewhere better. It's totally meaningless. But now look at the instructions on the right. They are specific, they're measurable, and they're actionable. Rewrite in 200 words gives it a clear boundary. Summarize in 5 bullet points defines the exact format you want. This is how you go from getting random, unpredictable results to getting precisely what you need every single time. So the big takeaway here is really simple. Precision is a direct formula for success. Every single vague word you get rid of is a potential mistake you've just avoided. Taking an extra 10 seconds to think about your prompt and make it clear and measurable, that can save you minutes, maybe even hours of fixing a bad output later on. To put it simply, clarity is the ultimate shortcut to quality. All right, so now that we've seen how to communicate, using both tone and precision, let's zoom out and ask the big question, why does this matter so much? Because according to the book, this is not some niche skill for programmers or tech fans. No, it's being framed as a fundamental, universal skill for absolutely everyone in every single field. And this is all about shifting our perspective. I know the word prompting might sound a bit technical, but it's really just the modern word for giving good instructions. That's all it is. It's about communicating what you want clearly. If you can write a clear email or explain a task to a coworker, you already have the core ability to be great at this. It's just about applying that skill you already have in a powerful new way. I mean, just look at the incredible range of people this applies to. A student can use it to get a complex scientific theory explained in simple terms. A lawyer can use it to draft initial contracts with a very specific legal tone. A doctor can use it to summarize the latest medical research for a patient. A business owner can generate fantastic marketing ideas in seconds. Every single profession on this list, and so many more, can be totally transformed by someone who knows how to clearly communicate their needs to an AI. And this isn't just about making your daily tasks a little bit easier. It's about fundamentally improving the core things that define professional success. The quality of your work, the accuracy of your decisions, how fast you can produce results. All of it comes back to the quality of your instructions. Your ability to prompt becomes a direct lever that controls your professional value in this new world of work.
So let's bring all these threads together. We know that effective AI communication needs a command of both tone and precision. And we've seen that this skill is truly for everyone. So what's the ultimate takeaway from all this? What's the final message? The book presents it as this powerful chain reaction. It's a simple formula. When you master the art of prompting, you unlock the real power of AI. It stops being this confusing, kind of unreliable tool, and it starts being your most powerful partner. And when you can use AI that effectively, well, the author argues that you are positioning yourself to lead and to succeed in the 21st century. It all starts with that first domino, your communication skill. In the end, it all comes back to communication. For all the mind-bending, incredible complexity of this technology, the bridge between you and the immense power of AI is just language. It's your ability to use that language with clarity, with precision, and with intent that transforms this technology from a cool novelty into your smartest, most capable partner in life and in work. And so, we'll leave you with this final, empowering question from the book. The tool is here, it's ready, and you now have the keys to communicate with it effectively. So the only question left is, what problem will you solve? What new thing will... Before we get started, if you want to keep mastering AI, please kindly subscribe to our channel, give this a like, and share it with your friends. It really helps us out. Okay, let's just be real for a second. You know the feeling, right? You sit down, you've got this great idea, you type your request into that little chat box, and what comes back is, well, it's just generic. It's boring, it's unhelpful, and sometimes it's just completely made up. It's happened to all of us, and it is so frustrating. It makes you wonder, is this whole AI thing just a bunch of hype? But here's the big secret, the fundamental mind shift we need to make. And this is really the core idea of our whole explainer today. The problem isn't that the AI is broken or dumb. Not at all. Think of the AI like a high-performance engine. It's incredibly powerful, but it can only run on the fuel you give it. And that fuel, that's your prompt. You see, a weak, vague prompt will give you a weak, vague result. It has to. The power to get brilliant results, well, that's actually in our hands. So, what's the most important ingredient in that fuel? It's one word, data. This slide right here tells the whole story. It's two completely different paths. On one side, when we ask the AI to work without any raw materials, without any data, it has no choice but to guess. It has to invent things out of thin air. In the AI world, we have a name for that. It's called a hallucination. That's when the model just confidently makes something up because it doesn't have the facts. But look at the other side. When you give it concrete data, everything changes. It stops being an inventor and it becomes an analyst. It becomes precise, factual, and unbelievably accurate. Okay, so here's our game plan. Here's how we're going to turn you from a frustrated user into a total master of prompting. First, we'll dig into exactly why prompts fail. Then, I'm going to give you the secret sauce, a complete 7-element recipe for success. After that, we'll see a dramatic before and after example of that recipe in action. Then, we'll level up with 2 pro techniques. And finally, we'll show you how to put it all together to get world-class results in your own job. All right, let's jump into section 1. We're about to pinpoint the exact reason your AI chats might be falling flat. And what you're going to find is it's not some crazy technical thing. No, it's actually really simple. It's all about understanding the one thing that AI absolutely needs to do its job. So when we say data, what are we really talking about? It's not this big, scary, abstract thing. It's just the tangible stuff you feed the AI. You know, it could be a paragraph of text from an article you're reading, or a list of bullet points from your last meeting. It could be a link to a website or some specific numbers and statistics from a report. The best way to think about it is like this. You're the head chef, and the AI is your superstar assistant chef. You'd never just walk into the kitchen and say, "Make me some food." No, you'd give them the ingredients, the chicken, the spices, the vegetables. That's exactly what data is. It's the ingredients the AI needs to cook up something amazing for you. Okay, so we know we need good ingredients. Now let's talk about the recipe. And this isn't just a handful of random tips. This is a structured, repeatable formula.
It's a complete framework that you can use every single time to build an incredibly powerful prompt that gets you exactly what you want. And here they are, the 7 essential elements. Let's walk through them real quick. Number 1 is role. This is where you tell the AI who to be. Are you a world-class marketer, a legal expert, a script writer? Number 2 is the task. What specifically do you want it to do? Analyze this, summarize that, draft an email. 3 is the goal. What's the bigger picture? What does a perfect outcome look like for you? 4, you've got context. This is the background story. What does the AI need to know to understand the situation? 5 is constraints. These are the rules of the game. Keep it under 500 words, use a friendly tone, format it as a table. 6 is examples. This one is so powerful. You actually show the AI what a good answer looks like. And last but not least, number 7, the one we just talked about, data, the raw ingredients. Now, look, for a quick, simple question, you might not need all 7 every single time. But here's the key, and you really need to let this sink in. The most powerful, the most professional, the most game-changing prompts, the ones that give you those mind-blowing results, they are always the ones that thoughtfully include all 7 of these elements. It's the difference between asking a stranger, where's the city center, and giving a taxi driver the exact address, a map, and a preferred route. Okay, theory is nice, but I want you to see this for yourself. This is where the rubber meets the road. In this section, we're going to put a really weak prompt up against a strong one that uses our 7-part recipe. And I'm telling you, the difference isn't just a little better, it's like night and day. It's absolutely dramatic. And here it is. This slide just perfectly illustrates everything we've been talking about. On the left, you've got the weak prompt. Make a business plan. That's it. I mean, what can the AI do with that? It has no role, no context, no data, nothing. It's just going to spit out the most generic, useless template you've ever seen. But now, look at the right. This is our recipe in action. We have the role. Act as a professional business consultant. We have the goal. Create a 2-page business plan. There's the context. Home-baked bakery in Lahore. Limited capital. And the crucial part, the data. Here are the menu items. The AI isn't guessing anymore. It's analyzing. It's strategizing. It's creating something truly useful based on specific, concrete information. So this right here, this is the big aha moment. It's not about learning some secret magic words or a special trick. The key, the absolute key to unlocking professional-level results from AI is just giving it specificity and structure. When you use that 7-part recipe, you're building a perfect container for your request. You're giving the AI all the clarity it needs to perform at its peak. You're basically guiding it straight to the brilliant answer that's already in your head. All right, so you've got the recipe down. You can already create prompts that are light years ahead of what most people are doing. But now we're going to level up. In this section, we're going to cover 2 advanced techniques that will take you from someone who just uses AI to someone who truly partners with it, like a pro. So technique number 1 is what we call multi-step prompting. And the best way to think about this is to start treating the AI like a really smart, really capable junior assistant. Now think about it. You wouldn't just dump a massive, super complex project on a new assistant's desk in one go and just expect them to nail it, right? Of course not. You'd break it down, you'd guide them, give them feedback, and build on their work step by step. You need to do the exact same thing with AI. This slide shows you exactly what that conversation looks like. It's a back and forth. You start broad. Step 1, give me 10 ideas for a YouTube title. The AI gives you the list. Then you refine. Step 2, okay, I like number 3. Expand that into a short script. Then you start tweaking it. Step 3, rewrite that but make the tone more exciting. Then you add constraints. Step 4, okay, now condense the whole thing down to 1 page. And finally, you go for the finish line. Perfect. Now create a final, polished version. See? Each step is small, clear, and builds on the one before it. That is how you guide the AI to an absolutely exceptional final product. Okay, pro technique number 2 is multi-model thinking. This is a big one. We tend to talk about AI like it's just one thing, but it's not. There are many different AI models out there. And just like a master carpenter has a whole toolbox full of different tools, a pro AI user knows which model is the right tool for the right job. They each have their own unique superpowers. And this table right here, it's basically your AI toolbox. Let's make this super practical. So if you're trying to brainstorm a super creative marketing campaign, or you need to analyze a really complex legal document, GPT's power in creativity and reasoning is probably your best bet. But let's say you have a massive 200-page report you need to understand. You turn to something like Claude, which is amazing with long documents. What if your project involves pictures or video? Well, that's a multimodal task, which is perfect for a model like Gemini.
And for the coders and researchers out there, you've got amazing open source models like Llama or something like Mixtral for super accurate code. The point is, pros don't just use one AI, they use the right AI. All right, this brings us to our final and honestly, the most important section of all. We have the recipe, we have the pro techniques. So now the question is, how do we put it all together to get truly world-class results in your specific job, in your professional world? This is where AI goes from being a cool toy to being your expert partner. Let's look at a few powerful examples. For someone in the legal field, look at this prompt. It doesn't just say, analyze this text. It assigns a very specific, very high-level role. Act as a senior constitutional lawyer. That single phrase primes the AI to think in a specific way, to use the right vocabulary, the right reasoning, the right frameworks that an expert in that specific field would use. The quality of the output will be on a completely different level. And we see the exact same thing in medicine. You're not just asking some generic chatbot for information. You're telling it to become a medical professor. That role doesn't just tell it to be accurate, it tells it to explain a complex diagnosis with the kind of clarity and structure and depth that you'd expect from someone who literally teaches this stuff for a living. And one more for business. Again, it is all about that specificity. It's not just analyze this, it's act as a consultant. And even better, it gives it a specific tool. Use Porter's 5 forces. You're giving the AI a professional identity and the exact analytical framework you wanted to apply. So what you get back isn't just a list of pros and cons. You get a structured, expert-level evaluation. So this is it. This is the big takeaway. The magic, the real magic, happens when you stop thinking of AI as a general search engine and you start connecting it directly to your specific area of expertise. When you give it the role, the context, and the data from your world, you elevate its output from pretty good to genuinely world-class. You are, in effect, creating a specialized digital expert on demand whenever you need one. So there you have it. We've covered the recipe, the techniques, and the mindset you need to go from AI frustration to AI mastery. The only thing left to do now is for you to actually apply it. So I'll leave you with this question to get you started.